Welcome back to another episode of Quick Picks with the Geek. I'm your host, Bro Power the Geek. So, I'm going to do a quick recap from last week and then we'll jump into this week's strongest picks. Last week, our strongest picks hit. We hit on a 5 leg parlay and a few of our live dogs hit. Uh, I had two live dog parlays in there, and one I had Trey Ogden and Carlston Harrison one. Both of them ended up losing, terrible for me. But I also put Bruno Lopez and Christian Rodriguez in their own little separate 2 leg parlay that worked out great for me. So I made a few dollars on the fights. I hit on that parlay. I hit on my strongest parlay. Victoria Dudakova did us dirty. She did not show up. Terrible. But yeah, for the most part, we did pretty good. So going on to this week, I'm going to give you my strongest parlay for free, and then I'm going to throw a few live dogs at you that maybe you can mix in, maybe you can mix it up with my parlay, whatever you want to do. So the strongest parlay this week is going to be Tagir Ulanbekov at a minus 340. We got Bernardo Sopaj at a minus 360. We got Rinia Nakamura at a minus 480. We have Peyton Talbot at a minus 1400. And then we have Umar Nurmagomedov at a minus 330. That is a very strong leg. I'm sorry, a very strong 5 leg parlay. So now I had a 7 leg parlay I wanted to give you, but it wouldn't be my strongest parlay, right? So I had Grant Dawson in there, but I took him out because he's fighting Diego Ferreira, and Diego Ferreira is good on the ground, but he's really good on the feet. He has really sharp striking. He has a lot of pop on the end of his shots, and we've seen Grant Dawson struggle with, like Bobby Green, the speed and the striking. So if Grant can't get this fight to the ground, he's, in danger on the feet. And if Grant does get the fight to the ground, if he's in Diego Ferreira's guard, he's still in danger. So, and Diego Ferreira is good at scrambling on the mat and everything. I think Grant is going to win the fight, but I'm not confident enough in Grant to put him in my strongest parlay. Another one that was in my strongest parlay was Jelton Almeida, and I'll get to that later while I pull him out. So let's just go on down to our live dogs. So in our live dogs, we have 5 live dogs. Okay. My first live dog is Aylin Perez. I like Aylin Perez. Um, I like Aylin Perez a lot. I don't think she's a world beater, but against Cara Rosa, I can see her racking up enough control time to win at least 2 rounds. I don't see either one of these women finishing each other. And Aylin Perez, she's good at getting the fight to the mat, but she's not good at keeping the fight there. But I do see her being able to rack up just enough control time to edge out the rounds. Not only that, UFC politics are always at play. And I do think they would like Aylin Perez to win this fight more than Cara Rosa. She's on a win streak. She's popular. She, booty shakes after she wins fights. So I think they're going to want her to win this fight more at a plus 200. It's not bad. And like I say, I think she's going to be able to rack up some control time. A good prop bet for this fight would be the over, obviously. I don't think either one of these women finish each other, and it'll probably go over 2.5. Depending on what sports book you're betting on, you could bet the 1.5 over as well and throw that in a parlay because it's definitely going over 1.5. Okay, another dog I like is Benil Dariush at plus 142. This is FanDuel. Plus 142. I like Benil Dariush. I think Renato Moicano is going to win the fight. I think he has some sneaky good Muay Thai. Obviously, he's good in the grappling. We all know about that already. And but Benil has good striking and he has legit power on the feet. And Moicano's been knocked out, what, like 5 times, I think it is, in the UFC. So, I could see a world where Benil, they get into a wild exchange and Benil cracks them. But my pick is going to be Renato Moicano. But I may sprinkle a little bit on Benil and throw him in a parlay or something. We'll see. Another dog I like that was started off as a pick'em, but now he switched over to a dog is Yuri Prohaslin. I like Yuri a lot because he's a plus 100 now, and I really think he beats Jamal Hill. Whether he was an underdog or a favorite, or if it was a pick'em, didn't matter to me. I was picking Yuri. Now that he's a plus 100, that definitely can boost a parlay or two. Now, I don't have any dogs in my strongest parlay because I've watched events where it's been a 13 fight card and 12 dogs lost, one dog won, So I don't put any underdogs in my strongest parlay. I just give you the option to mix those underdogs in if you want. I know me personally, I'm going to play my strongest parlay, but then I'm also going to mix in Yuri in another parlay using some of my picks from my strongest parlay just to boost those odds a little bit. But I think Yuri at plus 100 is a dog. I mean, it's a live dog. Armin Sarukian, he was plus 300 this morning. I'm recording this now at 12:30 in the afternoon, and now he's a plus 285. So I'm going to go ahead right now and put a little money on that before it goes down to a plus 250 because I think he's a live dog for real too. I'm not big on Islam. I think he's a really good fighter. Obviously, he's an elite fighter. He's the champion for a reason. But in his title defenses, we haven't. So he fought a 145er who was, arguably undersized at 145, moves up to 155 to fight Islam. Now, my problem is Islam could fight at 170 comfortably. Volkanovski cannot, you know what I mean? So it was an obvious size advantage. He goes all 5 rounds with him. Let me be clear. I do think Islam won that fight. I don't see what people are talking about when they think Volkanovski won that fight. Volkanovski may have banked the fourth and the fifth round, but the third round's definitely debatable. And I think Islam won the third round. In their second fight, Islam had a full training camp. Volkanovski did not. He came off the couch 10 days notice. And yeah, it's not Dan Ige off the couch, but you understand what I'm saying. It's off the couch, 10 days notice. He gets finishing that fight, no shame there. Again, he's fighting a fighter smaller than him, a weight class down, who is undersized in his own weight class. Then he beats Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier, I'm sorry. I know people love Dustin. I love Dustin too. Dustin Poirier, he fights for the belt against Habib. He gets beat. No shame there. After that, he goes and fights Conor twice. He beats Conor once. Conor breaks his leg the second fight. I don't count a fighter breaking his leg in a fight that looked competitive as he just lost. No, he broke his leg. After that, he gets another title shot that he's so confident on. He has these golden labels, golden championship labels made for his hot sauce bottle and shipped out before the fight even happens. And then he loses to Charles Oliveira. And then after that, he gets knocked out in another title shot against Justin Gaethje. Now again, no shame in these losses. These are top level competition, but he loses again, right? He beats Benoit Saint Denis, and then another title shot. Where obviously he loses again. He has problem with strong grapplers historically. Obviously, he loses again. This was a match given to Islam, a very favorable matchup that he could have lost. Dustin Poirier is always a threat, but it's a favorable matchup. This matchup is not a favorable matchup. These guys are kind of mirror matches. They're both really good at the grappling. They both have really good stand-up. I think Islam has better stand-up, but not by like a lot. It's not like he's miles ahead of him. They're almost even. So, Armin Sarukian at plus 285, it's definitely a dog. I wish I would have put something on him this morning at plus 300, but I will. As soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to put some money on Armin Sarukian. And the last dog I got is Sergey Spivak. Now, he is a plus 330 on here. Now, Jailton Almeida was on my strongest parlay at first. But with more observation, I just kept thinking, plus 330, Jailton Almeida is a minus 440. If he was maybe a minus 200, I'll go for him. But at a plus 330 with Sergey Spivak, and he could potentially get the takedown and be the one on top. And not only that, he's one of the few heavyweights that will throw up submissions off his back and be successful with them. So I think he's a threat. And I don't see Jailton Almeida finishing him, especially not early with a submission. Maybe in the later rounds he'll find something. But I think Sergey Spivak is a live dog here. And I think the UFC did themselves justice with this matchup because either guy wins is great for the UFC. Sergey is on a tear right now. Jailton Almeida, popular. He's definitely a good finisher. He's a good fighter as well. So either one of them gets pushed from this fight is going to be good for the for the heavyweight division, because I'm sorry, but the heavyweight division in the UFC is not the best. It's just not. Now there's one fight on here I want to talk about that I also wanted to put into my strongest parlay that I didn't is Bogdan Guskov. He was supposed to fight Johnny Walker, and then Johnny had to pull out due to an injury. So then we get Billy Elikana up, and when I watched his fights on PFL, I was not impressed. Low output, um, not good accuracy, doesn't throw a lot, kind of just stands out of range. And he has a good straight left, but he kind of tries to draw you into it versus being aggressive and like a counter striker. But I mean, I want to call him a counter striker, but he wasn't countering much. He didn't throw out a lot. He just kind of stayed safe, stayed on the outside. And the fight that I watched with him, I watched a few. One of them I watched was with Chuck Campbell. Chuck Campbell won every round of that fight, and they gave the win to Billy. So I don't know. I'm not really high on him. I think Bogdan Guskov is he's not a dog. He's a minus 330, but I think he's worth talking about. And then also Zach Reese. Now he's fighting Azamat Bikoev or whatever. I don't know this guy. I gotta look this guy up. I don't know him. I haven't I watched a lot of the uh regional promotions with Fight Pass and stuff, and his name doesn't stick out to me. So I got to look into that. But he comes into the fight on short notice, a minus 250. Again, I don't know this guy, but I know Zachary Reese, and he's really good. He's good on the ground. He's good off his back. He's good in the stand-up. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say Azamat is a wrestler, but again, I don't know this guy. But I'm going to look into him, and depending on what I see at a plus 190 for Zachary Reese, I may throw him in somewhere too, because he was just a favorite against Cedricus Dumas, and now he's an underdog, and he's had the fight camp. I'm sure the other guy is in shape and ready as well, but I say that without knowing anything about the guy. I feel like I have an idea of who he is. I just found out that Cedricus Dumas had put out the fight this morning, so I haven't had the opportunity to look into him yet. But at a plus 190, Zachary Reese, I'm sorry, bro, he's really, really good. And to be an underdog on a short notice fight, this other guy has to be a world beater, or I don't know. But those are my live dogs or whatnot. Just to recap on the live dogs, we got Aylin Perez, Sergey Spivak, Benil Dariush, Yuri Prohasna, and Arman Sarugian. These are my live dogs. I'm probably going to mix them in a few underdog parlays, and I may mix them in with my strongest parlay. So that's the video, guys. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me rant about nothing. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we have a while until the next event comes around, so I'll probably just be dropping just random content until then. So, till next time, guys.